For over 90 years, the American Legion has been a part of the landscape of our country. Many Americans know our organization for the many local activities it pursued. Now, whether it is a Legion baseball team, an oratorical contest, Red Cross blood drive, Boy Scout sponsorship, or involvements in Boys or Girls State, the American Legion has made a positive impact in every corner of our great country. In some cases, American Legion post home are the central focus. In many cases, the only focus of many small towns' social life. Dance, weddings, and many other activities are often held down at the Legion Hall. American Legion members proudly march in the 4th of July parade, participated in the Veterans Day gathering in towns big and small across our great country. Their blue caps are recognized throughout the community as a badge of honor. Every Legionnaire and every member of the Legion family should be proud of our many accomplishments. These are the achievements that benefit not just our organizations and ourselves, but our community, our state, and the entire nation. But before we spring our arms patting ourselves on our collective backs for our over successes, there is one job that we must recognize is surely one of the Legion family's greatest covert successes. Many Legion family members fail to recognize the incredible amount of work that individual Legionnaires do when they come to our nation's capital and meet with our elected members of Congress, or when they make a phone call, write an email, or send a fax, text message to the elected U.S. officials. This effort has yielded a number of triumphs in the past years. Let me give you some recent examples. Last April, Congress was still struggling with developing a final budget for fiscal year 2011. A government-wide shutdown was a very real possibility. American Legion organized a campaign to urge members of Congress to avoid a shutdown and finish the appropriation process. As a result, the government shutdown was avoided, and final 2011 funding was enacted in mid-April. On July 20th of last year, the American Legion organized another campaign to stop a potentially dangerous amendment to the Milcon VA spending bill. Senator Tom Coburn of Oklahoma introduced an amendment that would have made a radical change in how we classify presumptive conditions. This change would make it nearly impossible for future disorders to be added to the presumptive disability list associated with Agent Orange. It also could have negatively affected other veterans suffering from exposures to Gulf War hazards and other environmental hazards. The American Legion was extremely active in opposition to this amendment, writing critical analysis on the bark, the burn pit, issuing a press release from the National Commander's Office, and calling for action through the Legislative Action Center. American Legion membership raises its voice to Congress to stop the change before it could cause great damage to the Agent Orange veterans. As a result of the work of the Legion family, on July 20th, the Senate voted 69-30 to turn back Senator Coburn's amendment. A few weeks later, American Legion contacted members of the House of Representatives. This time, we were asking for passage of legislation called it the World War II Memorial Prayer Act of 2012. This measure directed the Secretary of the Interior to install at the World War II Memorial in our nation's capital a suitable plaque or an inscription with the words that President Franklin D. Roosevelt prayed with the nation on June 6, 1944, the morning of D-Day. Once more, The Legion family contacted their House members urging the passage of the legislation. It took a bit longer for the final result, but on January 24th of this year, the House voted 386 to 26 to approve the measure. It now awaits action in the Senate. It may not be easy to see these successes in your community when you return home. It may not be easy to celebrate these successes, but remember, these efforts and your voice matter. When I appeared before the Congressional Veterans Affairs Committees last September, I received a number of glowing reviews for my testimony, but I cannot take full credit for my statement. It wasn't because of my silver-tongued delivery of that testimony. Yeah, right. The success of the American Legion was because of you, your voice, your message that you carried to the Capitol Hill. When you walk into your senator's or representative's office and discuss with them the issues that affect veterans, your voice are powerful instruments. Your voice echoes loudly in the halls of Congress. You are relating to your elected officials the wishes and feelings, not just of the 2.4 million members of the American Legion, but of every member of the veterans community and their families. Remember that when you charge the Hill later today, we armed you with the job sheet to leave at each office you visit. Also in your possession are priority sheets, which give you greater background on some of the items on the job sheet. I urge you to go visit your elected officials and brief them on this legislative priority of our organization. State the Legion's position clearly and concisely. Don't let them sidetrack you into discussion of other legislative items. Stick to your gun. If they ask you for more information on the Legion's position, tell them that you will get back to them. Our nation's military and veterans are facing a number of challenges. Now and in the coming years, it is your job to let your members of Congress know. It is your job to influence them to take our position and fight for what is right for those who have served this country. So, remember the words of an ancient Chinese philosophy. I could pronounce this one pretty good, Lao Tzu, who wrote in the classic text, it's another good one, Dao Ze Jing, that 千里之行，始於足下. Or, to paraphrase it into English, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Today, at this Commander's Corps, is that first step. Thank you.